You know, this year so far has been one of the most stressful, most disappointing, and probably the darkest period we've ever been in. There's a part of me that wants to scream. There's a part of me that feels so sorry for everyone. I thought at one point I could turn my back to sports and pop culture and hope that maybe one of them would cheer me up from this disemboweling year, but the truth is, it just can't happen. This year's Olympics were very underrating, to say the least. But that isn't the reason I included it here. The reason I included it here was because we Americans could not control ourselves in a country like Brazil. You know, and I'm pointing this out clearly to Matlock, because he was the one that really, I think, devalued America the most by urinating all over a store. And from what I remember reading, beating up a Portuguese man or a Brazilian man. And that alone just says a lot about how we Americans see our foreign allies as well as our foreign adversaries. But even on our own home front, we sometimes just cause the simplest of controversies by just not doing the simplest of things. By not pledging your allegiance to the flag. You know, that has been causing such a ruckus. It's like post 9/11 all over again. You know, 02, 03 America. But it wasn't only sports that kind of went like this. Film was like this too. We had a new Ghostbusters that came out this year. And a lot of people voiced their opinion on it, and it was really split. There were people that hated it, and there were people that thought, oh, this sounds like a good idea. The people that hated it were, I don't want to say mostly men, I'd say it was about 50-50, but the men did get criticized and were called sexist. And it made you realize that if you didn't go see the movie, people were going to call you a misogynist. But if you did go see the movie, people were going to criticize you for not appreciating the original as much. And it's that split that really made people just really indifferent towards the film. The whole history of this Ghostbusters I could get into, but I really don't feel like it. Most I can say is it was really the head of Sony at the time that made all the changes that made it be the way it was. And essentially sabotaged herself. In my opinion, though, the movie was okay. I'm not gonna take sides. The movie was okay. My opinion is similar to Doug's. It tried to be its own thing. It couldn't really hold up to it as much, but for what it was fun. Just stupid, silly fun. And then we get to the big elephant in the room, as well as the big cat scene. This year's elections. We now have to choose between the corrupting presidential candidate of Hillary Clinton versus the insane presidential candidate of Donald Trump. I can't really choose between the two. The truth is, both sides have their positives as well as their negatives. Donald Trump is a very good businessman. No argument about that. If you ever get the chance, watch some of his interviews from the early 80s. You will understand that he did do very smart business maneuvers with many of his businesses. But when it comes to addressing race, gender, anything like that, it's not really up his alley. And that has caused a lot of stir up, a lot of controversy. I don't want to fully get into it, but I'll just say a lot of people, like I said, are really split. And then you got Hillary Clinton, who is very good with handling gender, race, sexual orientation issues. But when it comes to business, I don't think she can handle it as well. And it is not to say that she could. She couldn't, there's something about it that it takes a certain person to understand business. Her husband, Bill Clinton, he understood business. By the end of his presidency, I think we had a $51 billion surplus. That never happened in American history up to that point. And now we are like 16 trillion in debt. So it's kind of it's kind of the situation of digging ourselves out of that, but doing it without actually having to break the taxpayers' back. Generally, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not voting this year. I just can't choose between these two. This year's election has gotten people so divided, so split into their own groups, that if you're someone who's just an outsider, it'll make no fucking sense to you. So, I'm not gonna vote this year. I'm throwing my hat in the ring and saying, fuck you, I'm not doing it. So, Clinton, Trump, I'm not doing it. You can have everyone else's support. None of you are getting it. So, I'm gonna take that election day, and I'm heading on vacation. I'm heading out to the Great North. Get some maple syrup, get some good pancakes and waffles, maybe get some bacon. I'm heading over to Canada. This is Tony, signing out. If you excuse me, I gotta get in my car. It's a 10-hour drive all the way to Toronto, going through the Great White North. Take care, everyone.